Hey my people, what's going on? This Major TV. Let's talk. If you're not a part of the solution, you're a part of the problem. Which one are you? If you're not a part of the solution, you're part of the problem. Which one are you? A lot of times, blacks don't want to participate in the overall fight and struggle because it's so enormous and big. And we find an excuse to do our own thing and turn out all the faults in the black community, like no unity. We don't care about each other. We hurting each other. We take it from each other, etc., etc., etc. But we never just take time and really analyze why it's like that. We never really just dig into the details of why some black communities and black people are suffering versus those who are making it. But compared to the masses and the percentages, there are more black people suffering than really winning. And my knowledge just comes from understanding history, understanding what we've been through. You hear me and several challenging people talk about systemic institutional racism, exclusion, suppression, and marginalizing the blacks, the targeting of blacks. It's no secret. We know about what slavery have done to us. We know that we still walk around in some form of fashion with a slave mentality in our community because of the way how generation after generation after generation it was passed down. And it took a hot minute for blacks to even really understand what was really going on, especially considering the fact that even throughout the segregated Jim Crow days and blacks was building some kind of way down the line, there has been a big disconnect being handed down where the education thing wasn't as big, but the work ethics, doing for self-empowerment was there, right? They had some historical, information on their side to a certain degree, but it wasn't nearby as advanced as we are. But when you look at the disconnect, there was some interference here and there. Excuse me, a whole lot of interference. And just like it was exposed that the CIA, the government, put crack cocaine in black communities, imagine about every other drug. Imagine about the guns. Look at how they took the jobs from out the community. Once we came into the community, after being ran up the rural areas, just to get a better life. And you have people that would get on national TV and speak about all kinds of violence and crime statistics and try to slick side, point the finger like something is inherently or neatly wrong with us inside, that we really have issues. But it's a big diabolical plan to deceive, lie, and undermine. And while we fighting among each other and running for protection or trying not to get caught up in anything serious, they steady stealing everything from underneath of us. If we don't join the fight, and you don't have to be vocal with seeing a lot of things that's inflammatory or would draw a lot of heat, but anytime you open your mouth and speak about justice, and it can be in the truest, sincerest, and less severe form, right? But you don't really have to be as explicit. You're still gonna be targeted. See, I try to remind people, like, they still killing us. They still locking us up. They're still trying to find ways not to hire us, not to give us no funding, to try to make it seem like our problem It's because we create the problem. But when we buy into that narrative, them Fox talking points, those conservatives talking points, those racist talking points, we become a victim of this whole charade and game to divide and conquer, the Willie Lynch syndrome, right? So we have to really analyze what we had been through in the past, how it trickled down to right now today. And this historical data with the syphilis, with the Tuskegee experiment, LSD, you know what I'm saying, the crack cocaine, there's stuff out there, you know, that I mean, even some of the experiments and whatnot, it's stuff out there that they was doing with black soldiers. It's so much stuff out there to let you know there's been a grand stream of things that was talking on the divided conquer. When you look at the welfare system, we'll take the black man out the home. You know, you look at the education system, how they want to keep us separated to a certain degree. It's still somewhat segregated in my own sight, you know. And things they're doing with the gentrifying communities and whatnot, you know, all this intention, and how now you have whites coming back in the community. You gotta realize you're not dealing with a lot of whites that was as racist back then, but you're dealing with their children and grandchildren. And see, they know what's going on. They might laugh, shake your hand, hug you, talk that good talk, but they know the legacy and history, how they became supreme. They know that to keep things in place, they got to keep their foot on you. They got to make sure, you know, that they stay ahead. Laws because of fear and miseducation, as well as greed. So, if we're not a part of the solution, we're part of the problem. If we're not out here trying to hashtag each one, teach 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 20, 100,000, we're part of the problem. And it's an old saying, right? Some people sit on the sideline, right, and don't want to be involved until their child get killed, their child get locked up, or something bad happen to them. Then they want support to be rallied up around them. But that's not fair. You should be trying to prevent that from happening to your kid, or you, or any other body kid, or person that's going through this. And systemically, it is set up where eventually, if you don't watch your movement, if you don't be prepared, if you don't have some kind of movement, if you're not exposing what's really going on, eventually they're going to be knocking at your door. And I'm talking about anything. See, one thing we have to realize, it's already in the universe. The black and white and other. Who's supreme, who's inferior, so forth, so on. The mind games with the light skin, dark skin, all that's out there. How they conquered, how far they came, how they conquered, how they keep conquering, all that's out there. So we can't be deceived and believing that all of a sudden they're just going to give that power to us. We have to demand it. In fact, expose the lie. In fact, drop jewels. And in fact, it's carrying on a legacy of blacks that already done that. And they reawaken that sleepiness inside of us. That socially numb world we've been in. So we definitely have to stay involved. We definitely have to get involved. We definitely have to make a difference. If we sitting on the sideline critiquing, finding excuses, just looking out for self, it can't be me without you, and it can't be you without me. Yeah, it's still individual getting yourself together, but then you got to get off to the collective picture of us coming together. And though there have been a challenge, it can be done, y'all. That's all it takes, one person at a time. And if we can get the masses, cool. But again, if you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. This Major TV. Like, share, hit the notification button, subscribe, leave comments. We have to talk. This channel is about real engagement and conversation with the black community. So always stay focused, stay on cool, and just be black. Deuces.